talking a little bit about this kind of with Cam, but I wanted to have its own segment because I think it's important. Florida is in a dogfight right now. I mean, the D-line board, when you look at it, it's the same. It mirrors Texas, and we've been in battles with them the last year. We had Mbachu. We got in a fight with Deontay Robinson was another one. We essentially lost the Robinson one, then ultimately won, but lost again in North Carolina. We pulled out the Mbachu one, and now here we are. We got Vodney Cleveland. Valid Sony, I believe is how it's pronounced. Trenton Henderson, James Johnson, and I want to say, what's the other? Gervon or Kendall,
Gerville.
right?
Gerville.
I want to say all those young men all have Texas on their list as well, and I believe that they're all visiting with them over the next couple of days. Vodney obviously is there right now, just left Florida there. Obviously, it's when we see the crystal ball. It's going to be a fight, like we said. And here's why it actually excites me, because Texas, Florida already had a ton of excitement behind it. Just to the fact that Texas is in the SEC. We played there last year. You're bringing Texas to the swamp. Two major brands. Texas is really starting to build on what Texas is and utilizing that logo and creating a lot of hype around it. Of course, the Arch Manning versus DJ Lagway saga. And it's going to be, I think, week 5 this game is, so there's going to be some anticipation building up to it. Both teams can be undefeated, maybe one loss each. You're going to hope that both guys are having success. It's going to be the matchup, I believe, of that weekend. It really has the potential to be that. But even more so, like I said, it could be a turning point for both schools. When you go back and you look at like the 06 and 07 and 08 era, and when Alabama kind of took it over, right? The handoff, if you will. This is how Florida can start to take back what's ours. You started off with this week by taking down Texas and then, of course, Georgia a few weeks after. But this is where it starts. A weekend like this is where you can get Florida back in the direction that it needs to go. We've been playing with fire. We're doing everything that we can. But, hey, why isn't Florida right over the hump with an easier top 3 class? Why are we having to battle with these guys? Sure. Is it NIL? Sure. Are we not spending what we should be spending? Absolutely. But Georgia hasn't either. Why can they get away with it? Because they're winning. Okay? If you start winning and you prove that we're developing, we're doing these things right, you can get things at a discounted rate. Okay? I'm not saying that we want to be cheap, but we want to be smart with our money. And right now we're having to play a little bit of both, sell a little bit, overspend a little bit because we haven't proven it on the football field. This game, I'm telling you, is ramping up to be a good one. The rivalry is starting now off the field, which is exciting, but Florida is in a great place. Like I said, we'll see how it plans out over the next couple of days. Florida obviously is losing this battle currently, but I'm not going to lower my head on anybody, even people we have committed thus far, but I'm not lowering my head on anybody because Florida, I believe, has a genuine chance to flip a lot of these guys down the stretch, just like Cam was saying.
Yeah, I mean, like, winning changes everything, right? Like, you can talk about, like, you can get players at discounted rate, but also at the same time, you're going to have a lot more boosters wanting to donate money because you are winning. So
Amen to that.
there comes a double factor with that. And obviously, the revenue sharing thing is going to happen for everybody. So it's probably just, I mean, it will help some teams out for sure. But for other teams, it'll just be like, okay, well, you're just adding money to what we already have too as well. And a lot of these collectives, as Florida Victorious is a separate entity from the university. So they can get around some of those rules and regulations from the NIL go, that kind of stuff, whatever. But I mean, you got a kid here that obviously we were able to get McCoy not to visit Texas. He commits to Florida. So now Texas is going back out and they're saying, okay, who else can we get here? So Vodney Cleveland, he visits. There's a Florida and Texas battle there. Looks like it's going to head Texas's way right now. We don't know what's going to happen later on in the season or later on down the road or even next coming weeks. I mean, something could happen then and there too. You never know because it's recruiting. But I mean, when you involve NIL and you got all this oil money and Texas has success already on the field, they're going to be able to get almost just about any player that they want. Of course, they're going to have to compete with Alabama, the Georgias, all those other people that are winning. Florida now has seemingly turned it around because we saw what happened last year, so you can build off of that. But also at the same time, there's kids out there that just want to see more, and they're going to have to see more on the football field, especially this year with the roster that you have. And the roster, obviously I've looked at some of the ESPN FPIs. I was doing that earlier today. They guys predicted like 5-6 wins. And I'm like, with the roster that you have, if that roster stays healthy, that's going to kill 5 or 6 wins. You're going to go way over that because, DJ Lagway, if he plays like Will Wiles was talking about like last week, you're surpassing that. Now, I'm not going to say that you're going to go undefeated or anything. Hopefully Justin Williams was right when he was here earlier and was talking about 10-2 being the floor. That's what you hope. But I mean, with a good season, as I said, you're going to get booster donations. You're going to get kids that want to just look at Florida. You're going to get local kids that are on, the Florida list right now that are saying, "Hey, look, there's not a long distance here. I could come here too." So, I mean, as far as this goes right now, I mean, there's always anything could happen November, December, but also there's a lot of other defensive linemen on the board. I know that they got a lot of visitors going to Texas that are highly rated that we're in it for too. I don't foresee them all committing like that. So a lot of people are all worried about that. It's like some of these kids just visit just to go. I mean, it's not the fact that they're like, "Oh, I'm not interested," or "I'm not coming to Florida," or "I'm not going somewhere else." It's like, I just want to go. I want to crank up that Lamborghini and rev it for a little bit, and I want to be
Yeah,
wine and
yeah.
dine. So
Jarayla McCoy's a good point. I forgot about that. He was someone that Texas was heavily after as well, and we were able to persuade him to not visit. So that's already kind of Florida 1-0 when it comes to this Texas-Florida battle. It's going to be a bloody one going into this recruiting season. And look, that's what makes recruiting fun. Like you want it to be like this. You want it to be a fun, healthy battle. It's nice it not being Georgia. They're kind of doing their own little thing here. There's, I think, with a top 5 class currently with about 17, 18 commits. But look, Florida's sitting in a healthy place right now. We've been talking about it. CJ Bronal committed today as well, which we talked about early on in the show. We had our own show about that. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. As soon as he committed, we were live and ready to rock and roll, space suited up, getting down and dirty with it. But